I got them freckles, girl, all over my body. I got them freckles, girl, all over my body.
When I was a kid, my hair was.
Trying to get the audio going. I have I have another recorder, and I think it's going to be great when it'll definitely up the sound quality when I do like a solo podcast or whatever. But there's something cool about being on the phone, and I don't have to bug anybody. Hey, drive across town in 4 hours of traffic, and let's get together and stare at each other in a room. I mean, this is just like, that's why I call it pocket party. I mean, it's literally you know, we start the party in you guys' pockets.
The party starts in your pocket.
That's right. The pocket party. Before we go any further, I want to say thank you to all the listeners that have started listening to this thing. Because like I said, I used to do another podcast 3 years ago, and I did that for a few years, and it's great to be back. And so I want to give a shout out to some of my listeners that are back with me: Keith Brower, Luis Ramirez, Zimmer Andronigian. Thank you. iTunes. Somebody already left a comment on iTunes, and I didn't even ask anybody to do that, and they totally did it. And the person's name, I think this is the person's name. It says "Please Read," PLZ Read. So I read it, and they gave me 5 stars, and they reviewed Pocket Party Podcast on iTunes. That was awesome. And wow. What I'm doing better now, Gilbert, is I'm better at like putting stuff on YouTube. So on YouTube, I got some comments from Reggie Cepeda, Lee Meyerhofer. Thank you, Lee. And I believe it's Rami Valencia. So thank you guys for that. And that's just the podcast on YouTube. Wow. I'm not even including my other videos. And it's great. You know what I mean? Like we're getting something rolling here. And
you put this podcast, the one from the Pocket Party, on there on YouTube?
Yeah. You know what?
Wow. That's awesome.
I figured out how to put the image. I know, figured out. I know. If the millennials are like, really? How did you just figured it out? But yeah, I just figured it out. I'm sorry, but like,
wow.
I want to give a shout out to Sam Tripoli, man. That guy he tuned me. He got me back into YouTube. Sam is the man, and Sam, he told me something. And Gilbert, you're doing this too. He said, have as much fun online as you do on stage. And that is the best. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. And that's what I do. Yeah.
It's true.
That's what my show's doing so well. You're right.
The show is doing incredible, man. Like, for you guys who are unfamiliar with Gilbert Escobar, tell him about what you do on Facebook. Only on Facebook, I think, right?
Yeah, Facebook Live. I was doing a morning coffee cup story where I would tell a story in the morning and drinking coffee, just waking up in the morning, and people really liked it. So I decided to do it at night for the coffee drinkers at night, because there's a big culture out there that stays up late at night drinking coffee. So I didn't realize, though, that is a lot bigger than I thought. And basically what I was doing was spending time with people who were hurt, maybe depressed or lonely, and late at night, because that's when we're at our most vulnerable. We're alone in our thoughts. And there's a lot of people that at nighttime, they can't sleep because of stress, or even when they had a great day. How many times have you come up from a show and you couldn't sleep because you had to unwind? So those are the people I was after, and it turned into it's a phenomenon now. I mean, I'm getting anywhere from about 30 to 40,000 views a night. And all we're doing is dancing and singing and lip syncing, and we just play music and just have fun. I tell stories. We talk about whatever's on my mind. Sometimes faith. Sometimes stories.
How do they find it? They go to YouTube, and I'm sorry, they go to Facebook, and in that search bar at the top, they put in
a capital G. Just put the capital G with an apostrophe S, and it'll take you to G's Night Owl Coffee Show, and it's every night from 10 to 12. It's 2 hours. On the West Coast. So on the East Coast, it actually begins at 1 o'clock and it goes till 3 o'clock. But that's how I like it, because there's a lot of people during that time that cannot sleep. So basically, that's what it is. And if people miss it, they can watch it again later. But it's really taken off. And all we do is just have a lot of fun. Like you just said,
anybody listening to this, when you post something on Facebook, how unique it is if somebody shares your post. Like, you're like, oh, wow, like 3 people shared it or 4 people shared it, which would be a lot, right?
Oh, dude.
Gilbert, tell people how many.
I'm getting 300 to 600 shares a night. Not only that, Darren, the comments are from anywhere from 5,000 to 8,000 a night. I'm talking about comments.
I know. It's a trip, man. It really looks like, when I watched it, it reminded me of like when I was a little kid, like, and I would picture like grown-ups at a party. You guys are like playing music. You know what I mean? It's like,
I love it.
like you're singing along to the record. You guys are. It's just awesome, man. It looks like a good, fun time.
Man, we take people back when they were in elementary school. We got 92, 94-year-old. We got a 94-year-old and a 90-year-old that listen regularly. We got people in their 70s. We got young people, and it's because we play such a variety of music. They never know what I'm going to play. And I come out of left field with some stuff that, all of a sudden I'll be doing Zap, more bounce to the ounce, and I'll switch over to sugar, honey, honey, and everybody's singing along. It's just a blast, and it's healing. It's healing so many people we've lost 3 people already have died were in the hospital watching us on a regular basis, and they've gone on and died, but they were watching us, and we helped them make it through their night. That's what you ought to read the comments, and they're all nothing but love. It's a big party line. What it's turned into is a party line. So a lot of times the people that are watching us are talking with each other, and they're meeting each other, and there's relationships that have developed, and within a month and a half.
Isn't that wild? I find that that's what's going to happen with this podcast too. I find that people, we need that connection, man. People aren't talking to each other in public like we used to. There's have you noticed a little bit of that? Like, I know I don't want to sound like the old man that's get off my lawn, or like if you live in an apartment building, get out of my parking spot.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I find that people are a lot more isolated. Like I was talking to my buddy, and he goes, a lot of times I'll just put in my earbuds and not even turn anything on. I just don't want people to talk to me.
Wow.
And it's part of me is like, I get it. I know what you mean by that. But the other part is like, man, when there was no other options, you kind of had to like talk to somebody, and even if they annoyed you, whatever, you had little interactions throughout the day with people. Now we just want to treat each other like robots. Like some people do, they want to just go online at the grocery store. Here's my money. Give me my groceries. Goodbye. And not even have that interaction. That's why I think, this is what's great about podcasting is you are, I listen to podcasts and I love stuff like this because it's like you might not have the energy to carry on a full blown conversation at like 5 a.m. when you're traveling through the airports, but guess what? You can whip out these podcasts and you'll have a couple of comedians and they'll entertain you,
what would be cool too is if you could, like these people that are contacting you, maybe if they have questions, they can, and then you can answer them. That we can answer them the next day.
Yes,
especially have something to do with whatever our road stories and our comedy stories. And
you guys, you can do that if you go on Anchor. Anchor is what hosts the podcast. It's anchor.com. I believe they can leave a message for me somehow. I don't know how to do it, but they can leave a voice message, an actual voice message, and somehow I'll be able to play it, and I can play their voice.
That would be so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool because people want to be a part of this.
By the way, if you guys are in the LA area, I'm going to be in Burbank on Monday. I'll be at Flappers in Burbank, Monday, 8 o'clock. Monday, May 21st. So come by, ask me a question in person. Monday, 8 o'clock, Flappers.
Flappers, right there. There's a lot of good restaurants around there.
Oh my gosh.
There's an all-night pho place like that, Vietnamese soup, and I believe all night. Is it still there?
No, man, it closed. You know what happened? Something happened like with the sewer system or something, and they shut it down. But I used to love that place. It was. Sounds like I was gonna be like, it was the shit, but that's kind of gross.
Yeah, literally. It caused plumbing problems.
Yeah.
Hey, that pho soup is the bomb. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's Vietnamese. It's a broth soup that is so famous in Vietnam. They did stories and poems and written songs about the broth, and it is amazing.
It is good. Oh, hey, speaking of Asian food, I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, the Thai Room. The Thai Room, 821 North Hollywood Way in Burbank, California. It's hilarious because here's how I tell people how to go there. There's this restaurant that's wildly popular in Burbank called Porto's. So whenever there's a big line at Porto's and you can't find parking, be like, oh yeah, Darren told me to go to the Thai Room, which is literally a 3-minute walk away. And there's always an open table. No, I'm kidding. Oh, no, the Thai Room it actually gets crowded too, but I usually choose my times to go there. And I love that place. And when you go there, tell me what the Darren Carter Friends Special.
That's what I want to try. What is that? So you told me last time.
My buddy and I, Tarun Shetty, we started a production company, and we're filming commercials for businesses, for people, for their online presence, because we don't want people to get left behind. And we enjoy doing it. We did one for the Thai Room, and it'll be posted by the time you hear this. It's pretty awesome. Wow. It's really cool. The lady that owns it to do a voiceover at the end where she's like, okay, thank you, come again, bye-bye.
Oh, it's so cool. I want to go try it.
Gotta go there. We should do a podcast from there.
Let's do it. I'm down. We'll talk about the food. I love doing food reviews. I love talking and just, I told you I wanted to do that thing they call the lunch box. And I just want to go have lunch in different places and talk about what we're eating and talk about boxing and MMA. That UFC stuff. I love that. I love boxing. I love UFC. I love to give my opinion on what I believe. Who's going to win and what, but at the same time, I want to be eating different foods at different places.
That is so cool. I didn't know that you know a lot about boxing.
Yes. Yeah.
That's great. I didn't know that. It's so. Oh my God.
You used to box. You used to box, right? When you were a kid.
No, I will, like, goofing around, like we goof around. But no, here's why I say that, because I joined a boxing gym about 2.5 years ago, and I know a little bit more about boxing than I used to.
But I mean, the speed bag, you did great.
Dude, thank you, man. I know I love. It's funny, like I'm a huge fan of the boxing workouts, and what's great about joining a boxing gym is I'm actually in there with these pros, and I see it reminds me so much of comedy, like the struggles that comedians go through, and even in your own mind, man, even in your own mind, where you get yourself down after a bad show. Imagine, Gilbert, if you're a boxer and you have like a bad fight and it's televised or whatever, and then everyone, sees you lose on such a grand scale. It's like, you know what I mean?
I would rather get my butt kicked in the boxing ring than to get my butt kicked on stage. When you get your butt kicked on stage, nothing hurts worse than bombing. I know. You're right. Because I wouldn't want to do either. But I guess with boxing, you're like, well, it's a sport, and that's whatever. There's got to be someone's got to come in second place in a boxing fight. But comedy, you know what I mean? In comedy, it's real easy to take it personal. Where you're like, especially when you start out, where you're like, no, I didn't bomb. My act didn't bomb. My jokes didn't bomb. It was me personally, Darren Carter. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I stopped boxing, man, because I got third place in one of my bouts. That's when I realized, okay, this isn't for me.
Who's your opponent, the ref, and then you?
Yeah, the ref did better than me. The ref got more punches in than I did. Somebody once told me that there was in this one movie with Don Knotts, and he said he was oh my gosh, Tim, what's his name is
Tim Conway?
Tim Conway, yeah. So they were in this movie, right? It was a boxing comedy. And so he was getting beat up, and he went back to the corner, and Tim Conway, that's all right. He hasn't let a glove on you. He goes, okay, well, then keep an eye on the referee, because someone's beating me up in there.
I love that stuff, man. I'm going to have on some boxers where I'm going to interview them on my podcast. And one of the trainers there is a 2-time world champion. His name is Buddy McGirt.
Oh, you talked to Buddy McGirt?
Dude, I know him really well.
Oh,
yes.
Dude, we got to talk to him, bro. That's
Will you talk to him? I would love for you to go there with me, because I know him on one level, but it'd be great to have you talk boxing, because I would
love to. I used to watch him fight. Buddy McGirt was one of my favorite fighters, man. He was one of the most exciting fighters there was.
Buddy is amazing, and his stories are crazy. He can quote famous other famous boxers or sports writers. He just says it every day, knowledge. He'll be he'll actually cite the source. I don't remember who said this, but he was describing a fight, and he goes, man, it was like throwing snowballs at a battleship.
I love it.
Buddy is a funny dude, man. But you know what? I asked Buddy the other day. You know, he's in his I don't know how old he is, but I know he's in his 50s, right? But he's still solid, man. Like he's probably in his late 50s. He's solid. And I go, Buddy, how much do you work out now? Like, what do you do? And Buddy goes, I make sure. He goes, I probably do about 25, maybe 50 push-ups in the morning, maybe a little bit more at night. He goes, I just got to make sure. He goes, because I got daughters, Darren. I got daughters. I got to make sure I can last at least one round. If I can last 3 minutes, he goes, let's say somebody acts up. He goes, I can punch him. He don't go down. I can punch him again. He don't go down. And that still gives me 2 minutes to run to the police.
I love it. I love it. Oh, I love it. I would love to talk to him, man.
Dude, he's so good. I mean, all these guys, like, I see the drama. I see, you know, I watch them train, man, like train like crazy, man. Just like, you know, like soaking wet. I mean, literally wringing the sweat out of their, you know, I mean, and to see them like rise up, like up the ranks. It's amazing, man. Just to be there. That's why it's like living inside of a motivational like speech or something, man. Just it's incredible to be inspired to see this stuff.
If we could put as much energy and time and hard work into our craft as they do to theirs, even a non-contender, I'm talking even an amateur, bro, we would be champions of this in what we're in.
I know. That's true.
They work out literally in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. They're up running 5 to 10 miles. Yeah. They eat right. They eat healthy. They eat good brain food. You know what I mean? Food that's good for them. They go to the gym. They do their sit-ups. They do all their workout, every part of their body. You know what I mean? They punish their muscles. You know, they get used to the pain. They spar so they can get used to the punches. And so when they get hit in a fight, it won't stun them. I mean, imagine if we put that kind of work into our jokes. Oh, my goodness, brother. We have a 1 hour special every month.
I know. It's true. Because sometimes we have the luxury of relaxing a little too much. And it's funny. I don't relax like I used to as far as that goes. But definitely, man, when I was younger, you know, it was more caught up in the fun of being a comedian. And now I realize there's fun, but there's also, you got to put some work in, you know? Because sometimes the luck runs out. Sometimes you get stuff, but it's because there was a little bit of luck involved. And maybe because I was younger, you know what I mean? Maybe there's some youth and luck. Yes.
But now the market is saturated with those youth that are as hungry as we used to be.
Yeah.
Now they're our competition.
Yeah. They are, and also, you know what? I will say that they are our competition, but in the same way, we're just like with boxing. We're in a sense, we're kind of we're competing with our own selves, you know.
Oh, definitely.
You know, like you know, if I don't put up some videos on YouTube, and then no one else is going to do it for me. You know what I mean? I mean, occasionally, that's the thing. Before I would let, you know, fans would find something on TV, put it on YouTube. Somebody would, you know, and that was good. I was like, oh, that's cool. I mean, I would put up a couple videos a year, you know, like my Tonight Show or like a really good set sometime. But I realized, like, you know, in this day and age, you can't just do that, man. Like, you can't, like, you know. So, yeah. So,
you know, George Foreman was 49 when he won the world title.
Wow.
So was Archie Moore. He was 49 and he was a world champion. You know, so a lot of people, and then you have Bernard Hopkins, who was a world champion and in his their late 30s, and he wasn't supposed to be. He was way too old for boxing. You know what I mean? So it just goes to show you that, yeah, boxers, they got a lot of new young blood, you know, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I know 80 guys in their 80s that once were boxers or they're trainers. And they're solid, as they're more solid than the young guys.
Wow.
Yeah, in their 80s, bro.
There's a guy that I train with. He trains me sometimes. His name is Coach Ward, Stan Ward. And, you know, he was a heavyweight fighter back in the 70s. And he would be the sparring partner of George Foreman. And there's like 4 of them. Ken Norton. It was all the guys preparing to fight Ali. Rumble in the Jungle. and the Thrilla in Manila. And you come there with Stan Ward, and he's got the stories also, and the techniques, that they show you. He shows me a lot of techniques, and I'm like, that's what I like to do, like the basics of boxing, and also you don't really need a lot of like equipment. You really, once you learn how to like shadow box, do burpees, run in place, do push-ups, I mean, you're good to go.
Wow, burpees are amazing.
I know.
The burpees are, you don't, like a lot of these old boxers, they had no new equipment and none of this modern technology that they have now. They got it down to a science, but back then they had raw.
I heard Buddy McGirt say something once to his boxers. He goes, "All right, you guys, tomorrow we're doing 2-a-days." He goes, "Before you come to the gym, I want you running in the morning." He goes, "And I want you out there on the street running and shadow boxing." He goes, "We don't do treadmills around here. We don't do treadmills. That's for guys in cubicles."
I love this guy.
You know what I mean? How can you not be inspired when I go see that kind of stuff, man? I mean, I go in there and like it makes me want to go. There's it's like almost like I can sometimes be a little bit obsessed because I'm like okay, I'm gonna land. I'm going to go home, take a shower. Like when I come home from out of town, I'm like, and then I'm going to get in my car and go to the boxing gym. But I actually prefer to be there when there's other boxers there. That way I can, otherwise I'm just a dude by myself in the gym hitting the speed bag, But like,
yeah. No,
you know what I mean? I like to be there when they're like doing their thing and like, all right. And then, or maybe I'll pick up something like, oh, I never knew you could do sit-ups like that. Or, you learn, and it's stuff like that where it's like,
you got to be careful though. You know what happened to me at the gym? I was watching this. I was stretching, but I don't know how to stretch. So I was watching these two guys, these two young kids. They were like, in high school or college, whatever. They were built really well. You know what I mean? They were little muscle boys, but they were stretching. So I go, okay, I was watching them, and I was like, oh man, I can't do that. But I was watching them, so like later, I can practice it later. But then they started doing this one move. I go, I can do that one. So I started doing it. Right? I go, oh yeah, this is easy. I could do this one. It hurt, but I could do it. Then I realized they were just relaxing. They weren't doing nothing. They were just talking. I thought they were doing an exercise.
Like I could do that one.
Yeah. No wonder I could do it. They were chilling.
That's hilarious.
True story.
You know what's funny, man? The one thing that I can do at the gym that kind of the only thing that I've ever done that impressed any of the boxers, because nothing I do doesn't impress anybody. The only thing that kind of impresses some of them is and I think they're just being nice. But I think they might be impressed. Maybe or maybe they're impressed because I'm like 48.
Okay.
But, yeah, maybe that's what it is. But they're impressed with my jump rope skills because I've gotten pretty good at jumping rope.
Really?
Yeah, that's the one thing that and I think it's because I put the time and effort and because I even talked to one boxer. He's getting ready to go pro. He's amateur right now. He's getting ready to go pro. And shout out to Sharif, if you're listening. But
what's up, Sharif?
Yeah, man, this guy's in incredible shape, man. Oh my God, 20 something. I don't know how old he is. I forget, but I mean, he looks like, you draw him, he looks like a superhero. I mean, just everything. But
wow.
But I think I was jumping rope, and he was like, when I joined the gym, it was just so fun, like putting the gloves on and punching. And because I really didn't, he didn't spend a lot of time doing like 30 minutes of jump rope. It's like,
that's the best exercise you can do besides swim. Is jumping rope. Jumping rope is just so amazing because it shocks your body. I mean, it shocks your body, and it's a lot of great. I forget what they call that, combustion. It's some kind of a combustion exercise.
Yeah, explosive combustion kind of thing.
Yeah, stuff like those. They have exercises like that for like those are for especially for boxers. That's what boxers need because they got to be explosive when they throw a punch.
Oh, you know what, man? And also, I've gotten some bits being in the, some jokes just in the gym. I just write some stuff because the stuff it's funny because I'm out of my element. So just the funny stuff that happens, like, how like there's certain phrases that are like boxing, like I remember one time this guy was showing me something. He goes, give me a jab, which I knew what a jab was. He goes, give me a jab, then slip, and I didn't know what the slip meant. And I had to like Google it later. Like,
really?
I didn't know that. I mean, that you're supposed to like kind of like get out of the way of the punch, like slip, meaning like.
What did you think? He said. What did you think?
I didn't know what it meant. I actually go, what does that mean? And he was like, and then he explained it to me, and I was like, dang, like Like I didn't know. I knew like jab. I knew I could kind of figure out what roll meant when they go roll under the punch. But when he said slip, slip, jab, jab, slip, so it was funny. This other guy, he used to go to this one boxing gym I used to go to, and on stage I refer to him. He kind of reminds me of like a retired cholo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't really he didn't really work out there a lot. He would just sit on the exercise bike and like watch the people spar. And he would have the towel around his neck, that style.
Oh, he was a bench warmer.
Yeah, yeah. He would like slowly pedal on the bike. But I remember when Floyd Mayweather Jr. was fighting Conor McGregor, and well, by the way, let me ask you a question, and I'll tell you what he said. Did you watch that fight, Floyd Mayweather?
Yes.
And were you excited to watch it, or were you?
I was excited. I wanted to see Conor get knocked out, but Conor had so much confidence. He started making me wonder.
Yeah, I know.
You got to admire his confidence, man. You can't. That scared Floyd even. Floyd got. Floyd's never been out.
I love the build up. To tell you the truth, I really love the build up, like the press conferences they would do.
Yeah.
I would watch those press conferences on YouTube.
I think they were in on it together.
I know, huh? I know. You know what? You're right. I kind of thought that too. There was a moment there when he I think he grabbed Floyd Mayweather's head, kind of at the conference, or kind of like did something silly, and I was like, that looks like two friends hanging out. Like not really.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they pretty much had an agreement. Look, let's build this thing up. Let's make our $100 million each. Let's make this the most trash talking fight you ever seen. And Floyd just couldn't handle him trash talking. Detroit, he got knocked out. Floyd got knocked out trash talking. But when it came to fighting, Conor couldn't. Conor did to him what he did to Floyd trash talking. Floyd did to him in the ring.
That's true. It was funny because I would ask all the trainers, and they would be like, it was funny because they knew that I was like Mr. Amateur over there, like they'd be like, look at Darren, he's all excited, he's like he thinks that Conor's actually going to win, and,
a lot of people did. He was, bro. I'm telling you, even I had to start watching Floyd Mayweather fights, and that's why I became a bigger Floyd Mayweather fan. When I started watching all his fights to say, how is this guy? Because now I was starting to doubt. I literally, at first I said, this guy Conor has no prayer in hell or heaven to beat this boxer. I know. So, and then finally when I saw all his fights, how he was going to do it, I'm like, wow, Floyd's a monster.
Like McGregor would be like, his hands are like peanut brittle. He's old. He's slow. I was like, yeah. And then I would talk to people like who didn't really know much about boxing, or they knew more than I did, but they weren't like, they were like, yeah, man, there's always that puncher's chance, man. The puncher's chance.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you're right. McGregor, oh my God, he's going to hit him. He's going to come at him with different angles. It's going to be the puncher's chance. Like, and then some of the like the trainers at the boxing gym, like, they were like, I remember some of the stuff that they told me, they go, dude, it's going to be boring. They go, they were telling me like beforehand, they were like, the fans are going to get all pumped up and excited when McGregor comes out. And then once he doesn't knock him out in the first 3 or 4 rounds, and Mayweather starts kind of winning, they're going to get real quiet. And Mayweather's going to stretch it out until about 8 to 10 rounds, so that people get their money's worth. I mean, they were kind of like, I know
they called that.
They kind of called it, and I was like, no, there's the puncher's chance. And then one of the guys was like, he goes, you think there's a puncher's chance? They go, listen, he's 49-0. Do you understand, Darren? They go, he fought. And then they were telling me there was the closest Mayweather came to losing, I think they said is his name Maldana, yeah. And they go, look at the first time he fought Mayweather, not the second time, but look at the first time. And I was like, oh man, he did look like, Maidana looked really good in that fight.
Maidana's an excellent fighter, but see, Floyd Mayweather, I didn't know. I really didn't know how good he was. I always knew, but I've always rooted against Floyd. I've always rooted against him, but I never really sat down and watched him. And when I did, all those little moves that he makes that you think are unorthodox, they're not. They're planned out. And when he was showing he was showing how he does, why he does, and one of his old. If you watch his old videos, and you'll watch him do it in the fight, and you're like, oh my goodness, what a genius! That is so scientific what he did. It looked like he was just being sloppy, but he wasn't. He made the other guy have to be sloppy.
Yeah, I found out they call that the Philly shell, where you kind of put your lower arm across your belly and you kind of like cock and you kind of poke your shoulder up. You hide behind it. That's called the Philly shell.
Wow.
Like saying you gotta be good at that.
Well, you know what? Connor wasn't ready. Connor says he didn't prepare for someone to have his head in his chest the whole time. He's never see in MMA they don't even fight the same because the boxers in MMA they don't box the way. And I used to always criticize them, but it's not that they don't. It's just they can't keep their guard up like you're supposed to in boxing, where you put your left by your ear and you put your right by your chin. You know what I mean? And you keep it there. That's your defense. And you keep your elbows in to guard the body shots, right, as much as you can. Well, the thing is, and you can't do that in MMA. You got to lower your hands because you got to block kicks that are going to come at your ankle, at your legs, at your thighs, at your calves, and at your knees. And so you can't. You got to have your hands lower, and that's when you're open to the left hook and to your jabs and stuff.
When you're right. I gained a lot of respect for Mayweather. Like after when I was watching those videos too. There was one that listen. Before I gained respect for him, and before I realized what was happening, I saw a video. Do you remember the video where I think somebody out of Ventura? I forget his name. It was a Mexican American fighter. He did something to Floyd Mayweather, like headbutted them or did something illegal. They both went to their neutral corners. And then when the guy came out, he wanted to tap gloves.
Oh, yeah. That was David, the guy from Tucson. He's from Tucson.
Tucson, okay.
Sorry, he's from Kansas. He was from Kansas, from Garden City, Kansas.
Does it start with a V as in Victor?
Yeah. Oh, Victor. That's right. Victor. Oh gosh, what was his name? He was training in Oxnard with the.
I remember they were training in Oxnard, and his name is like something with the. Do you want to Google it? Do you have a computer near you?
Yeah, he's a pretty boy. He's a pretty boy.
It was.
I got a computer right here.
Cool.
David Valdez, was it Valdez?
Something.
No, Victor. Yeah. It's a short name.
Cruz? No, that's a DJ.
I think it starts with a C, though.
Yeah. Do you have
right now, what we get? Yeah, when he hit him and he dropped him.
Yeah, because the guy came out to dap gloves with Mayweather, and Mayweather was like, bam, bam, and knocked him out.
Yeah, and he had his hands down.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, what a cheap shot. That's cheap. It's cheap. But then I talked to the these professional trainers, and they're like, the rule is
Victor Ortiz.
I don't know. We should get it right.
I got it right here coming up.
Okay. And so like those trainers were like, no, the rule is protect yourself at all times.
Yep.
So once they said
that's the rule.
Protect yourself at all times. The clock's running. It's all legal. And I was like, oh. So then I kind of like realized like, oh, okay.
It was Victor Ortiz.
Victor Ortiz, man. I mean, you know what?
He's gonna get knocked out anyways.
Yeah. And then, when I started to gain like more respect for Mayweather was as a fighter is when you see him jump rope, man. like I'm telling you, back to the jumping rope. That guy is incredible at jumping rope. And I looked at another video where it said like he throws 1,300 punches in 2 minutes, and I think that might have been an exaggeration, but I will tell you this: he literally is on the bag going pop, pop, pop. It's like a rhythm. It's like pop, 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 pop. And as he's punching the bag, his counter's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. And it's just like this rhythm. And if you try that on your own, you realize, man, how hard it is to keep doing that. Like you know.
Now, is this Floyd you were talking about? Who works out like
that? Yeah, just look up Floyd Mayweather jumping rope. Look up on YouTube. Look up Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd works out
twice a day. Yeah, hitting the bag and hitting the double end bag. The double end bag, where there's the rope on the floor and the rope on the. for
Yeah,
the
that's for
listeners.
your coordination, right?
Yeah, that thing bounces around. It's hard to hit that thing, and that he's just tapping it. Do. Him a dance. He's going slip 1 2 dips 1 2 slip 1 2 roll 1 1 1 2 1 2 pop pop pop. It's amazing. I mean, you guys can't even.
Those guys are. You know what Tiger
Yes.
Woods does to the golf ball? You know how he does? He's bouncing it on the tee, on the
Yeah.
club. That and then he hits it. Boom. Well, the boxers do that with the speed bag, with the jumping rope. They do tricks. You're like, wow.
I saw Lomachenko.
Oh,
Vasily Lomachenko. He's like
love
amazing. Dude, that guy. I saw him doing that with the water bottle or something, or a sports drink bottle. He's like punching it in the air, keeping it in the air, punch, keeping his bottle in the air like a soccer player with a soccer ball.
Yes, I saw that.
Isn't that crazy?
That's what I was talking about. Remember, I was telling you these boxers that do. That's what I was talking about. Lomachenko, bro. This guy, I just saw him fight Saturday. He fought Saturday, and against this Mexican dude, or not a Mexican dude. He was somebody, but he was the world three belts. He held 3 belts. His name was gosh, I forgot his name, but he was a beast. And Lomachenko knocked him out in the 9th round, bro.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to tell you what that guy said. The retired Cholo, circling back to that. When I asked him about Mayweather, I go, who's going to fight, Mayweather or McGregor? I mean, yeah. And he goes, bro, it's going to be ugly. And I go, what does that mean? Like ugly? Like I didn't know if that was like a boxing term or what it meant,
Uh-huh.
And he goes, it's going to be ugly. And then I go, what does that mean though? And then he thought about it. He paused and he goes, not pretty.
Stupid.
Isn't that hilarious?
Oh my God! Can you imagine him getting arrested? That's your bike? Yes, my bike. Where did you get it? My cousin's. Where does your cousin live? Next to Scott. Where does Scott live? Next to my cousin.
Yeah, they're over there. Where's that? Not here.
Not here. Yeah, we used to have a friend named Lefty. They go, why do they call you Lefty? He goes, because I sure ain't right. I heard these really cool sayings this weekend from these real gangsters these guys are real gangsters, right? And they got sayings like these little sayings. They're like, gangsters do what we want. Suckers do what they can. Little sayings like that. I go, dang, you guys are real gangsters.
I like that. You know what? It's funny 'cause sometimes you'll hear like sayings like that, like in songs. Like there was some rap song, and I remember he said something like, he goes, "If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense."
I love it.
And I think about that. I'm like, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
I heard Joe Rogan once and Joey Diaz. They were quoting those rap songs. They were like, was it slapping hoes, slamming Cadillac doors? It's funny when you hear Mexicans and white people talking like that.
You know what saying is in my head, and it's like messed me up for a long time. I think is it's better to have and not need than need and not have.
You're right, of course. I like that.
You know what? And I think because in my mind, like I'm like, it's better to need and not have than have and not need. And the reason it's messed me up is because I always end up packing way too much for trips.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, I better bring a bunch of socks. I'll be socks for the daytime, socks if I go jogging, socks for the show. Then I'm gonna get sweaty. Better bring more underwear. Okay. Oh, then what if I spill something on my jeans? Oh, I better bring some backup jeans and some more jeans. And it just goes on, man. And I'm bringing like sweatshirts and coats, and I got to learn to like not to be more of a minimalist at times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I've heard it's always better to have too much than not enough.
Exactly.
That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true. It sounds good, but again, I'm sure that would apply in some cases. In some cases, no. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I would rather be early somewhere than to be late. You know what I mean?
I changed my ways about 2 months ago. I used to always be like, okay, I can, I'll show up and get them. Now I'm like, no, there's something very calming about having the discipline to get there early, because then you're not stuck in traffic. You got time to chill. You got time to park. If something comes up, when it comes to the airport, I get there in like at least 2 hours before we're supposed to even board, because I like to get there early, and like I hate that stressful feeling of like we're gonna miss the flight and then that's gonna mess up the whole day, and that kind of thing.
It does stress you out. If you wake up in a stressed up mood, like for example, if you're already running late and you're mad at yourself because now you're hurrying, that can stress, and it ruins. You're right. It ruins your date. Sets the tone of the day. Your day's going to be tense and frustrated and irritable, and you're going to be lashing out more because you're already tense.
You know what? There was a country guy that used to be on that show, Hee Haw. He was I think his name was String Bean, and I read this book on it was a biography on different musical artists, and mainly country music artists like Johnny Cash, etc. And this story they had about, I believe his name is String Bean. Is it a green bean or string bean? I think it's string bean because he was tall and lanky.
Oh, okay.
Something he said, which I love, is somebody was driving him to a show, and the dude was speeding. He was like trying to get him there real fast. And the guy was like, hey, slow down. It's okay. We don't need to speed. He goes, I'd rather have them say string bean is late than the late string bean.
Oh, dude. I love it. Oh, my gosh.
Isn't that good?
Wow. I love great. Wow. Because I got a saying that goes, and I say, is I never fight for a flight. If I'm at the airport and they say we can't get you on this flight for whatever reason, I'm like, all right. Even if I don't like it, I'll just like, okay. I'll try what I can. But I'm not gonna fight for it.
I have a phrase: Southwest is the best, and Frontier I fear. I'm kidding. I will take any airline if it gets me to where I need to be. But I will say this: I took a flight a couple of weeks ago. I had to go to North Carolina, and the time that I wanted to come back was like in the morning. I didn't want to like spend another like day gone from my family and everybody. So I was like, okay, I'll take Frontier Airlines. And I don't know if it's all Frontier planes or just that one, but none of the seats reclined. And so imagine flying cross country and you know what I mean? Like your back hurts, you're like uncomfortable. It's a crowded flight. It's like, yeah, man. I mean, it got me here, so thank God. And they were, but still, it was not my first choice.
I'm going to start calling them Frontier. I've never flown Frontier.
I know. Was the Frontier known for having airplanes, back in the day, tumbleweeds and stuff like that?
You know what I mean? It was the last Frontier to me. I'll go all the way to that's the last airline.
Exactly. I know.
My favorite is? Honestly, my favorite airline is the ghettoest one of them all. Is Southwest. Southwest is the ghetto airline of the sky. That's what the fugitives take. All the fugitives take that. That's like the Greyhound of the sky, because the fugitives, when they hear that, want to get away. Yes, I do.
Dude, I got news for you. That ghetto goes a lot lower than Southwest. like there's one that's even more supposedly than Frontier. It's
Spirit.
Spirit. There you go. Yeah,
that's not even. They haven't even earned their ghetto card. That's how bad they are. They're not even ghetto, bro. That's why they call them Spirit, because, oh my God, you got to get drunk to fly in one of those things.
You got to have some wine and spirits. You got to
have some spirits to get out, bro. They charge you for anything. If you want to recline, that's another $25. You should have said, bro, seriously. Oh, you want your suitcase? You want us to take it out of the top? Okay. Oh, you want to put it upstairs? Okay, yeah, that's another $25 to store it up above you. Any little thing, bro, they nickel and dime you for anything on that. And by the time you spend $75 to go around the world, but by the time they're done with nickel and diming you spent your regular flight. You would have paid for a regular flight.
Man, I know, huh? That's how they get you. You're like, oh, well, I can get there for like $129, but then it ends up being like $8.99.
Oh, you end up spending believe me, bro. They got all these hidden costs, and they're just so uncomfortable. And I've heard some bad, and I've never flown on it, but I had my mom fly or somebody else they flew in.
Frontier was like that when I flew there. I got an alert the day before where it said like, hey, check in now and you can save money on your bags if you check your bag in now. And I tried to, but I didn't know how to do it. I was like, well, I'll just wait till I get there. I got to the airport and it was like, check in now online or pay $45 at the counter or pay $60 at the plane.
Wow.
bag. And I was like, man, they're like threatening us, kind of, like this isn't cool,
Ah,
And then they had like a little picture. It was like, this is a bag, and it showed like a little tiny, like no, it showed like backpacks, which I had a backpack, and it showed suitcases, and they go, this is a carry-on item, and it literally showed like what appeared to be the size of like a wallet or something. I'm like, are you kidding me? But
yeah.
they let me on the airplane with my backpack. They didn't charge me, so I got to give them a shout out. Thank you.
Well, Southwest has changed.
Oh,
They used to be whoever gets there first come, first serve. You get your A, B, or C ticket. You know what I mean? Now you pay more, and they'll give you an A ticket.
oh, and if you take so many flights a year, because I've been fortunate to be in the A group a lot, and I'm very thankful. If you fly Southwest a lot, first of all, Southwest is by far my favorite airline, but because I do fly them a lot, I'm able to get that group, that A boarding group. So,
wow.
so when you fly, if you don't fly them very often, I could see, because my friend went with me to Reno, and he was like, I don't like this choose your own seat, because he was in the last group to get on, and so he never really could find a seat.
That's what he gets.
Yeah, he had to sit in the bathroom.
The trick is go get yourself somebody in a wheelchair. Just go right there and then just tell them, hey, you mind if I push you on? I push you on. Let me pay you. Where's your people? Who's pushing you? Well, let me push you on. And then just like, I'll push you. Or something like that. Or just make friends with somebody who's going to go, like a family who's going to go on there. You with them and you go on with them. They don't know.
That's hilarious. I like it. These are they call it like life hacks or
flying hacks.
Yeah, make friends with the people that are in wheelchairs.
Yeah, that's what you do, bro.
See ya. No, that's messed up. Everyone for themselves. I just used you. No, I know what you're saying.
Telling you though, people don't buy it. They're like, "Hey, you mind if I go on there with you?" Because I gotta wait all the way to the end, and they're like, "Yeah, come on." You know what I mean? They're pretty cool.
That's good. That's good to know, man.
Now I don't like those other airlines like Delta or American, because you got to be there an hour before to put your luggage in. If you don't, then they don't. You can't. They got to. I don't know. I can't remember what they do.
What's great about Burbank, California, if you fly out of Burbank, California, you actually board in the front of the plane and the back of the plane. And so people that don't know this, they just get in the front of the plane. They get in that long line to get on the front of the plane. The ones that know, like we're like, nope. We get, as soon as we're on the tarmac, you literally walk. You're on the tarmac and you get up the back of the plane, and then once you're on the back of the plane, you can walk straight to the front of the plane.
Yep.
And then everyone else is all still in line trying to get on.
Yeah. I remember that Burbank Airport. You get to do that. I remember in LA. Do you remember that shooting they had when they killed that TSA agent?
Yeah.
I was there that day. I was there and I saw the security guard running, and I didn't know why. I just figured he's going to go. There was something going on. So he ran over there, right? He was running from Southwest, and it was in Terminal 2. So he was running towards that terminal. Well, we all boarded and everything. And then when it came out that says, the pilot says, we have to back out and leave now because, I started seeing all kinds of people pouring out of the airport. Literally, they opened up the doors, and the people that were inside the terminal were pouring out into the tarmac. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? And the pilot came on and says, we got to back out and move now because there was a shooting here and all this stuff, right? So he started backing out, and they stopped him. And we had to stop and pull back up, and we had to get out. And we had to get exit on the tarmac. And then they took us over the terminal to Tom Bradley Terminal. They took us all over there, and we sat there for like 5-6 hours.
Dang.
We almost flew out of here. And I was on my way to a gig. I was going to go do San Quentin Prison. I was going to do a show at San Quentin Prison, and I missed it.
Man, I want to ask you about that, but real quick, we're going to, I remember that same day I had landed, because when I landed, there was because I checked in LAX, and then I'm in the air, and when I landed, people were like, are you okay? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they were like, there was a shoot. I was like, wow. I was like a 4-hour flight away. I was across the country, but still, it was like,
oh, wow. I was in Terminal 1 when that shooting happened. Literally, I was in Terminal 1, and the shooting was in Terminal 2.
I want to plug a couple dates real quick. If you guys are in Detroit listening to this, I will be at the Comedy Castle May 17th to the 19th. I'll be at Flappers Monday the 21st, and Salt Lake City June 1st and 2nd at Wise Guys.
What is it like
Gilbert,
to do comedy in Salt Lake City, dude? That's Mormon capital of the world.
I'm telling you, they call it a Jack Mormon. Okay, so there's traditional Mormons. They'll I guess they don't drink caffeine or anything like that.
Right.
And then the Jack Mormons, they're a little crazy. They'll drink chocolate milk.
Ah, those Mormons gone wild.
They're like, don't tell nobody, but I'm gonna have some soy chocolate milk. No, I'm kidding. They're good people there, and I was nervous at first because I thought, well, I didn't know what to expect. And I'm telling you, if you ever play Salt Lake City, the people laugh and have man. They laugh really hard.
Really?
Maybe because there's a lot of rules and stuff and social rules, but I'm not really dirty or offensive. So
no, I know. Anytime you start putting restrictions, and you know me, I'm clean, but every time they put restrictions on me, now I get scared because now I'm more concerned about the restrictions that I can't focus on my material.
I'm the same way, man. I'm the same way. But what I was gonna say is like the audience, like there may be. I'm guessing maybe there's some sort of more social restrictions in Salt Lake, maybe than there is like other places. But for example, like I told my uncle one time that I was going to Salt Lake. Now this is back in the '90s, and he said that when they were in Salt Lake in the '70s, I think they ordered a bottle of wine at dinner, and everybody in the restaurant looked at them like, "Ooh!"
Oh, like, wow!
I remember when Snoop Dogg performed there, they were saying that they were saying that he played porno on the screens, but I'm like, it probably wasn't porno. It's probably just girls shaking their booty in bikinis. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a little bit. So they laugh more, in other words, because it's like there's the restrictions, I guess. And then so if you go out there and make them laugh, it's like, oh wow, this is great. Like we can get loose,
I did a casino in outside of Vegas that a lot of the Mormons go to, and it's because it's I forgot the name, Mesquite, Nevada.
Mesquite, Nevada, yeah.
And they get a lot of Mormons that come from Utah that go there to the casino. So the audience is always the hardest to do because you got half of it that's Mormon, and the other half are just regular gamblers. And you got one part that's partying and getting crazy, and you got the Mormons that are very, very conservative, right? So, you know what I mean? So that's what they tell you. So you got to do this material that's going to have to be appealing to both. You know what I mean? And they don't want you to get dirty because of the Mormons. So it's really hard. I mean, me, it's easy but bro, I mean, I had a great time. The Mormons were really, really, really cool. They were more responsive than the drunks.
I know. I love it. I want to thank everybody for listening to Pocket Party Podcast. Do me a favor and please share with your friends. If you're on YouTube, consider liking and subscribing my videos. And I oftentimes I'll put the podcast on YouTube. And Gilbert, where are you playing? What can you tell the people about?
The big shows that I'm doing that I got coming up that I'm trying to push are June 2nd. I'm going to be in Sacramento at a place called the Sky Room, and I'm going to be hosting it with and it's a concert, and I'm going to be doing comedy, but it's going to be with it's going to be music and comedy, and it's going to be with what's his name? Oh gosh, Alon, Rock and Roll Gangsta. That one, he does that, and then the other one is Howard Johnson does a song called So Fine. Anyways, it's gonna be a concert there. June 16th, I'll be in Tucson, Arizona at the Fox Theater, double headliner show with Willie Barcena and myself. June 30th, I'll be in Boise, Idaho. Saturday, June 30th in Boise at the downtown Boise at the Knitting Factory, and there's going to be three headliners on that show.
That's a great venue.
Yes, I've seen it, but I've never been there. But it looks real nice.
I want to ask you about real quick before we go. Pocket Party Podcast obviously is what you guys are listening to, and I want to ask you, why did I just plug? That was weird. You're like, you guys are like, yeah, no way, yeah, we know, buddy. We've been listening for the last hour. But before we wrap up, you said you were on your way to a gig in San Quentin.
Yeah, I was doing a show in San Quentin prison for the second time. I've already done it before, but I was going back again.
How many times have you performed at that particular prison?
Once.
Oh, okay. So you haven't gone back.
No, that was going to be my second time.
Have you performed at other prisons?
Yes, I've done almost 50 prisons across the country and Mexico.
Oh, okay. The next podcast, I want to start off with that topic, but I got just one quick question. What I would imagine the most fearful time, because it's we don't know. It's the fear of the unknown. The was the first time you played a prison?
No,
Or was it each time?
no. The first time I did a prison was a crazy experience. Cinco de Mayo. And I walked, my father-in-law told me, because my brother-in-law was in there, and he said it was a Camp Snoopy. But when I showed up, it was a big walled prison with wire and everything. And I walked across the prison yard in a purple suit with white tennis shoes. And and everybody stopped just to look at this crazy Barney-looking cholo.
See, that's what I mean. Back when I was saying the boxing phrases, when they said this and this, I don't know what's a real phrase and what's just normal slang. When you said Camp Snoopy, that's a slang, but I thought you meant I was like, so it was like a Snoopy, like it was a Charles Schultz, kind of like Peanuts gang.
You know those Camp Snoopies where they take kids and they have fun and play games? Well, that was my father-in-law said that's what kind of prison it was, where it was open wall, no walls. It was just like a Camp Snoopy. So we thought it was going to go having fun. We didn't realize there was killers there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But I got a lot of stories. We'll talk about them. My prison stories, endless. So we'll talk about those on the next podcast.
Well, I can't wait to finish this one up tomorrow. We're going to do it this week. I don't know if we're going to do it when I'm in LA or when I'm in Detroit, but I want to get another episode with you because I love talking to you. Gilbert, you're the man. Thank you very much. And thank you guys for listening.
You got it. Take care, buddy.
You got it, buddy. Pocket Party. Talk to you soon.
Later.
Hey guys. Is it like a law or something that YouTubers have to say, hey guys? Anyways, so thanks for watching my video, and please consider subscribing. Dude, what are you doing?
I'm shooting my YouTube video.
I know, but there's a whole planet. Why do you have to stand there?
Because everyone knows this empty parking lot gets the best reception.
Good call.
Guys, this is the problem with life.
Thanks for watching my video, and I hope to see you soon. Keep subscribing.